Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. I'm Lawrence. Today I want to discuss the difference between the Hasbro GI Joe 3.75 figures and the Super 7 GI Joe reaction figures. So, if you like the video, if you like the content, follow the channel, give me a thumbs up. Instagram, A Punk with Toys. So, let's quickly do this. I'm going to give you the pros and cons, what I think is the best value, and or pros and cons for each one. So, first off, let's start looking at on-card figures. So I'm not going to show you all the figures because I don't have all the figures. So the reason why I waited to do this was I wasn't going to compare the reaction figures to the retro 4-inch figures that Walmart had because they're done with them. GI Joe's killing that line, so I'm not going to compare what a reaction figure gives you compared to a defunct line. I wasn't also going to compare a reaction figure to, let's say, an old O-Ring figure, because that's not fair. This figure here is probably worth 120 bucks. They're not 260 like they were back in the day. So I waited to Hasbro send out their actual O-Ring figures. There's only 2 out, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow right now, but obviously with the HasLab, which is going to have, 5 figures, and then they've also announced the Cobra Officer, Cobra Trooper, Duke, and Cobra Commander. This is going to be their competition. Now, why they're having competition against themselves, they didn't have to license this line, but that's what they did. So, I'm going to take a look at the two, and here they are side by side. All right, so let's start with Storm Shadow to begin with. So, look at Storm Shadow here. On box, it looks like what we had in the 80s. Same picture. They brought back Cobra Enemy. If you want to look at Snake Eyes here, they did bring back a Real American Hero. So you look at the artwork. Looks wonderful. They did drop the white border. They tell you with swivel arm battle grip. And here you can see everything from all his weapons to the figure. Now the one nice thing that I really do like was, even though this is pretty thick, which I'm not the biggest fan of how thick it is, but they have a plastic outlining all through it so your figure doesn't wobble around. So if you do want to hang this on your wall, you want to set it down like that, your figure isn't going to move. You can see the full figure. They even made it so his arms are sticking out a little bit and they're not just right by his side. Very nice figure. Looks really nice. It's exactly what we had back in the 80s. And even on the back, on the corner here, it tells you with swivel arm battle grip. Reaction line. So this is a Cobra Trooper. And this is the brown one, tan, Latino, I don't know. They have a bunch of different colors. So, this is inspired by Sunbow. He's made to look like the cartoon. You have your GI Joe at the top. They created the white border. So technically, all this black above it is kind of negative space. You're supposed to be looking at the actual card art right here. They do the same thing with their bubble, so the figure doesn't bounce around. You can see the figure. The difference with this is, even though there's an explosion in the back, this is a completely new artwork. But it looks extremely nice. Even though it's nothing that, that we had, they make it so when you look at this, you're going to say, wow, I had that when I was a kid. Even though we didn't. Green shirt, perfect example here. We never had a green shirt. Same with Quinn here. All right, so these are all new. They're all new pictures, all new artwork. They look real nice, and they kind of harken back to how they were done before. And they even put the bubble on this side here. All reaction figures are on that side. So that's the one thing they did change. And I was actually at one of my toy stores, and it was kind of aggravating, and you could tell he probably got aggravated because he had to move his pegs over because he really couldn't get these figures on it properly because of the way they shift. So, but on card looks really nice. You're gonna get a Sunbow looking figure. We get to the back. So here's you're gonna have your cross cell. The 8 figures that are in this wave. Unfortunately, I don't believe that I have any from the next line, but they have all the figures. And then you have your file card. And I know from the Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, it's the same file card as we had back in the day. It looks really nice. Obviously has different artwork, but you see this and you go, that's exactly what I wanted. Absolutely love it. Now we get to the Hasbro. And the first thing you notice is the file card is up top, which they used to be on the bottom, and it's really big and gawky. Where this one here looks like the original. The other thing that we have here is it's in 5 different languages. And they don't really give you very much. They tell you it's Storm Shadow, its role, primary specialty, secondary specialty, and birthplace. And then a small little sentence about the figure. Now the file cards, which we all wanted, they told us about the figure. They told us everything that we want to know about this figure. And then from that point, we world build from that. This gives me nothing. It's sad. It's very disappointing. Again, $20 figure. $18 figure. Now let's get to the card, the actual card stock. And if you watch anywhere, you've seen people complain that this is flimsy and it's warped. And it's not super flimsy, but it is warped. And these come packaged. So here's Snake Eyes, he's warped too. These come packaged in this, okay? Which comes packaged in this inside of a box. So I look at the Super 7 and it is as straight as you can get. Oh, and this one came in a mailer from GameStop. Super 7, nice thick cardstock. It's straight. Super 7, straight. So, unfortunately, I think Hasbro really went cheap with the cardstock here. Because if you do want to hang it, it's going to blow off of your wall. They do send it unpunched, which is nice. And you can stand it. But if it was flat, it'd be really nice. Now, you cannot just stand your reaction figure because it's too far down. Alright, so $18, $20. I'll get to the price point in a little bit. So now let's take a look at the actual figures themselves. And the first 2 reaction figures we'll just quickly look at is a green shirt and the Snake Eyes Target exclusive issue 21. So there's not too much to say about these. These are 5 points of articulation, which is all reaction figures. This Uzi's going to keep falling out. So if you don't know what 5 points of articulation are, that means that the arms can go up and down, the legs can go up and down, and the head can turn. Now, I have seen the owner or creator of Super 7 talk about it. He said, I like 5 points of articulation better than O-Rings anyway. Well, that's BS. No one likes that. I will stand to the day I die that one of the reasons why Star Wars took a downturn was not only because the movies came and went, was because there were 5 points of articulation and GI Joe came out with the O-Ring. Also, most of the figures don't come with more than maybe 2 accessories. Here we have a green shirt. He comes with his 1 rifle. I mean, it looks cool. The figures, they look extremely nice. All right, I did a review on the figure. They look nice, but not too much to them. And they all do have foot pegs. But unfortunately, the foot peg configuration here does not work with either the O-rings or the 4-inch, which means you have to find your own Super 7 stand if you want any type of, I don't know why I'm putting the Uzi back in, it's just going to pop out. If you want to use a stand for these guys. Now, you stand these guys, they're perfectly fine. You really don't need a stand. But let's say you want to put them in an action role, like they're running. Well, they just fall over because no knees to bend. So, here is the new O-ring. So, if some of you are wondering, what is an O-ring? Why are they called O-rings? It's because in the middle, there is an O-ring. It's a rubber band. Okay? So, this is your new O-ring figure. And pop off the stand. So the difference here is that not only do the legs move up and down, and same with the arms, and the heads twist, but the waist, they can move side to side, they can do the splits, their knees bend, their elbows bend, they also swivel, they can do T, they can ab crunch, they can do all kinds of things. And you can even stand them in positions without a stand if you want. But they do give you a stand. So, what do these figures come with? Well, the accessories. Storm Shadow comes with his backpack, his long and short sword. He comes with 2 sets of nunchucks. He also comes with his bow and arrow. And they come with a stand, which fit really nicely. He looks like our original, and he's $20. This is $18. So, in my opinion, bang for your buck, you're getting a lot more. Snake Eyes, who also comes with them, has 2 Uzis. The second Uzi, his explosives, backpack, and sword. And again, he moves in the exact same ways as the other O-rings. Just like the reaction are all 5 points of articulation, O-rings have their articulation. So, let's talk about price point. And these are $20 per figure. And the reaction are $18. So it's $2 difference. What are we getting? Well, with the reaction, you get 5 points of articulation, maybe 2 weapons. Where the O-rings are $20, you have the O-ring, you can move your abs, the waist, arms up and down, elbows, knees. You can do so many more things. But the availability is that you're not really just spending 20 bucks on this figure. They're a 2-pack. So it's $40, and you're getting Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow together. I can't just say, I want Snake Eyes. I'm a huge Snake Eyes fan. I just want Snake Eyes for 20 bucks. I spent $40 to get Storm Shadow with it. And I have to go through Hasbro Pulse. I can't just run up to a store and get it. With the action figures, I can find them at pretty much any toy store. Target has a whole bunch of them. And Secondhand Charles has a whole bunch. And again, these are reaction figures. Our reaction figures are a price point of $18. Do I think $18 is a little too expensive? Yes. Do I think $20 is a little too expensive for the O-Ring? I do, especially when I have to buy a 2-pack. So we're looking at $40. Now, I have these figures. I have noticed through all these classified figures that I have reviewed, I have a lot of stuff. I think I knew that before, but you start to really realize how much stuff you have. So, again, so if I'm looking at the two of them, what do I think get a better bang for my buck? It's clearly the O-Ring. You can do more with it. You get more stuff. But the availability is I have to go on Hasbro Pulse, and these are sold out now. So are they going to go up in price on the aftermarket? It's impossible to know. These reaction figures I can still get anywhere. They're all over the place. I was at a toy store this week, 2 different toy stores. They both had a whole bunch. Walked into Secondhand Charles, they have a whole bunch. Target still have a whole bunch, but they're $18. Which one do I think looks better on the card? I think that's kind of a wash. I really do. They both look really nice. This is really going to give you the old nostalgic feel because it is what we had. This makes you feel like it's something we had, although it's different. If you're a huge fan of the cartoon, I think you're going to like this, especially if you're not opening. Now, can I mix and match? Can I fit these figures in with my O-Rings? Well, I think they look actually just fine together. But if I'm posing them together, if I want Storm Shadow facing off against Snake Eyes, well, Snake Eyes is just going to stand here, and I can get Storm Shadow actually in a nice pose. You can do all kinds of things with them. You know, sidekick to them. Snake Eyes probably doesn't look that bad, but let's say I have Quinn here, and I want Quinn looking like it's fighting. Well, this guy is literally just holding up his machine gun, straight armed, straight legged, not holding it with 2 hands. So, personally, for bang for your buck, I'd have to go with the O-Rings because you do get more. Availability, you have to go Super 7 because they're all over the place now. But, again, I have to buy $40 worth of figures to get, if I just want Storm Shadow or I just want Snake Eyes, I have to buy them together. Now you probably go on eBay and sell it for $20 fairly easy, but again, you just kind of, it's the hassle. So anyway, that's the difference between the O-Rings and the reaction. I really want to do the video because every single day, at least 3 to 4 times a day, I see another picture, another post on the Facebook pages of GI Joe complaining about Super 7 and how Hasbro's doing this cash grab. One, they're not made by Hasbro. They're made by Super 7. It's the reaction line. Now, I understand you may be a GI Joe fan, but if you're a fan of GI Joe, you're obviously a toy collector of some sort. There's no way you have not seen the reaction lines all over the place. They do everything. They have Star Trek figures now. They have Roger Rabbit figures coming out. Nightmare Before Christmas. Freddy, Jason, they have so many things. And it's crazy. And these people act like they don't even know. They have no idea what it is. That it's just Hasbro just trying to make a buck. Hasbro has 5 points of articulation with their Marvels. Some of their Marvel figures. And they're $10. That's a better price point, to be honest. I think these both are a little overpriced. I will pick and choose the reaction lines. As of now, all the figures that I've seen with the O-Rings, I will pick up. But I have a huge collection downstairs. And we're going to see how they look. When we come to figures that I don't feel that I need to have a newer version, I might not go with it. Not for $20. And especially, again, of $40 because they're being sold together. And I doubt those prices are going to come down, especially with Hasbro just jacking up their prices another $2 on like all their 6-inch figures. So that's it. So to conclude, inbox, if you're an inbox or on-card collector, wall hanger, I think it's a wash. They both have two different types of nostalgic feel. This shows you a figure that we had before. This shows you a figure you may have thought you had because it looks like something we saw so many times in the cartoon. When it comes to the back, I have to give it to Super 7. It looks more like what we had. It's an actual file card that actually tells us about the figure, and the cross cell is right there. It looks better than just having 6 figures. When it comes to the actual card, actual packaging, well, this is not competition. It's Super 7 because theirs is actually straight. I hope someone from Hasbro sees this and says, we need to change this, especially with that HasLab. But I'm going to tell you they won't, because I just saw the unpackaging of the Razor Quest, and those Star Wars figures look like they're on the same type of cardstock. Okay, out of the box. Who wins here? Let's say you have this Snake Eyes with all his weapons compared to this Snake Eyes. Well, for me, it's not even comparison. The O-Ring wins out every single time. I'm not a fan of our 5 points of articulation. It's a reason why GI Joe killed every single one of my Star Wars figures. Do I regret that now, seeing the price? Hell yeah, I do. But there is a reason why I stopped playing with Star Wars. And that's one of the reasons is the articulation. The poses that you can get these guys into. Whether they're kneeling, and attacking someone, whether they're kicking, they're doing all kinds of things. So, when it comes to that, these win. Looks, O-Ring. Price points. $20 a figure. $18. Well, bang for your buck. I'm going with the O-Ring. You get more stuff. Downfall, you have to buy 2. It's a 2-pack, so I am spending $40. So if I only want a Storm Shadow, I say I just want the white Storm Shadow. Why go buy Super 7 for $18? Of course, I'm not a big fan of that one. He's very white. Availability, you have to go Super 7. I can go to Target and get it. I can go to any toy store. Secondhand Charles, if you have secondhand Charles. But I've seen them all over the place. And the other thing is, people bought the different reaction figures from Super 7 and they shipped right away. Hasbro Pulse, these things were pre-ordered quite some time ago. And it's the only way you can get them. So they're online, $40, and it's being sent out to you. You kind of get it when you get it. Where I can go get these, I can't get them at GameStop. You can get them from GameStop. They're all on GameStop right now. Matter of fact, these are just over $15 at GameStop. So if you do want to find them right now, go to GameStop. Packaging, you know, the way they're sent, you know, they come in this, and then in this, inside of a box. So your figures are in here. This box is in this box. And this box is in another box. So they're packaged real nice, yet you still have this flimsy bowed out card. So overall, you're paying for your buck. The winner, in my opinion, just looking at it, is the O-Ring. it gives us the feel. They're going to fit with the vehicles that we have. I have seen some people putting some of these figures in there. They actually don't look bad when you put them in a hiss and stuff like that, because you really get a feel of the cartoon. But you're going to get these figures in some of the vehicles a little bit easier. Anyway, that's it. I just kind of wanted to compare the two, because this is now the 3.75 line that we're going to be getting. And we have two different figures. No more 4-inch, at least not for a while. I'm sure they'll come back. They always do. But you do have to decide whether or not you want the Super 7 Reaction or the GI Joe Hasbro O-Ring figures. Again, 5 points of articulation. Not a big fan of it. Or your O-Ring, we have all kinds of articulation. And yes, I understand it's not the same as the 4-inch figures. But the 4-inch figures also don't fit in all the vehicles that so many of us have. And I have that on other videos that you can see. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I've been talking for like a half hour. I didn't think I'd go on this long, but I just have to ramble as I think we've discussed. So, anyway, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Follow the channel. You decided you want to spend $18 on a figure, $40 for two figures, which comes out to $20 a piece. I don't know why I had to think about that. And you have to wait. And see if you can get them right now, because they were sold out last that I checked. Or if you don't want to buy any of them, you may just want to stick with the classified, which are now going to be $25. Again, keep raising the rates, keep raising the prices. We understand everything's going up, but Hasbro, if you've listened, if anyone from Hasbro has listened to this and made it this far, let me explain something. We all understand that you have to pass the buck down because prices are going up. But you probably shouldn't raise your prices $2 on all your figures right at the same time that you let your profits come out, that you've made like $6 billion in 1 year. Your revenue is shot up. Not a good look. And right now people are going to pick and choose what they want. So anyway, I'm wrapping up. Instagram, A Punk with Toys, and happy toy hunting.